All right, what's going on, everybody? So something I wouldn't really expect to talk about ever on my channel. This is a bit different from what I usually post, but Conor McGregor recently went to the White House, which is very interesting. I know that he was interested in politics and that he was going to get into it, trying to be the president or whatever it is of Ireland, but I didn't think he was in any sort of power yet, but apparently so, because like I just said, he was just at the White House with Donald Trump. So I'm really not going to speak on the politics of the whole situation because that's not my place on this channel. That's not what I talk about. So I'm just going to be reacting to what he had to say to the press in multiple videos. I'm going to be reacting to some of the backlash because apparently the people of Ireland are not happy that Conor McGregor represented Ireland on St. Patrick's Day. And I'll also be breaking down why this could take over his fighting career and this could be his new path. Real quick before I get into the video, 91% of you guys aren't subscribed, so if you like UFC, influencer boxing, or boxing content, I post 3 to 4 times a week on this channel at least, so make sure you subscribe. I appreciate you. Okay, so let's see how Conor McGregor carries himself as a politician, because as we know, he is a bit tapped, and he's a bit crazy, and just stuff flies out of his mouth, especially on Twitter. So it's going to be very interesting to see this phase of Conor McGregor's life. Obviously, he has a big stake in BKFC. He's very affiliated there, so he has to talk for those type of things. We just see him stepping more and more out of the octagon as time goes on, and if that's how he's happy, obviously going back into UFC, if you're not 100% certain, it's just one of those things fighting, like you need to either hang it up or figure out what you're doing with your life. So all right, let's see what Conor McGregor has to say to the... This is outside the White House, and we'll see the other stuff inside the White House.
Every available metric available to us has shown that the government of Ireland currently has failed the people of Ireland. In 10 years, Dublin city centre has gone from one of the most safest cities in Europe to one of the most dangerous. So shame on him for saying that, speaking down on an Irishman. I won't speak about him personally. Throw a jab, I could throw many jabs at them. I could throw jabs handily at them. However, I speak on the metrics, and the metrics show they've failed the people of Ireland. They do not represent the people of Ireland. And I'm here.
What do you say to people who feel it's inappropriate for you to be here, given...
God bless Ireland, God bless America.
Yikes.
Every event...
He skedoodles after that. Now, what he's referencing to, I was going to talk about this later on in the video, but like I said, people were not happy with him going to the White House, specifically out of all people. And I believe it was the Deputy PM of Ireland goes off on Conor McGregor after his White House visit. This is what he had to say. I want the people in the USA, and I particularly want women and girls to know that he doesn't represent the values of Ireland. Oh, I see. He is actually the opposite of all the values that we are proud of. He represents the very worst toxic masculinity. Now, I don't know this guy. Obviously, I'm not Irish. I'm American. But him and many people were voicing their disdain that Conor McGregor was even talking about things in the White House, saying that he doesn't represent women or men in their country. And yeah, the case, if you look into it, is a bit shady on both sides, but regardless, you shouldn't be cheating on your spouse no matter how you make it cut and dry. So he's not entirely wrong, but if he's out there trying to make a good difference, and he's the biggest name that Ireland has, like, but I can understand. But if he's truly not good with how he handles the country, and Conor McGregor's trying to value, like, it seems like Trump's policies for the most part, he's just looking out for the country. So I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, but yeah, I could see it. Like I said, I don't know how the politics work in Ireland. I don't know if this is somebody that he would have to run against, or like he's in an opposing party or anything like that. So let's see if there's anything in his speech in the White House that made him feel this way. Obviously, it's coming at the government of Ireland, so they can't be happy about that. But let's see what he had to say in the White House for his speech. So crazy seeing Conor in this type of position.
Yeah. Hey!
Hey, Conor, first of all, did you get into some time with President Trump? And also, I know there's some Irish immigrants in the U.S. without status. What do you think should happen to them?
The Irish
There's some Irish immigrants, some recent Irish immigrants without status.
Taking over the podium.
Ireland and America, we are siblings. We consider America our big sibling. So it's important for Ireland to have a peaceful, happy, prosperous country for 40 million Irish Americans to have a place to visit, to come back to their home. So we wish for our relationship with the United States to continue, and we wish to be taken care of by the big bro. You know, the United States should look after its little bro. And that's how we feel.
How about
Ireland
the
and
trade?
America.
What about, there's some trade disputes between the U.S. and the EU, and what do you think?
We wish exemption. Ireland wish
Hey,
exemption.
we actually have some stuff that we
I will
have to
say,
do right now. Appreciate it.
Connor,
Connor
is here
backing
to
up
make
so
us
much,
sit
and that
with
guy
him
stepping
later
up.
this
It was
afternoon.
about to spin a wheel
We
kick
couldn't
his
think of a
ass.
better guest to have with us on St. Patrick's Day. We're both wearing our green. This was not planned, but very festive. And as you know, I'll be having a briefing
St. Patrick's
later
Day,
at 1
definitely
o'clock. So we'll talk more about their meeting later. But he's going over to meet with some other administration officials. He's spending the day in Washington, D.C.
For sure.
So
I'm here to
it'll be
raise
fun.
the issues that people of Ireland face. You know, and it'll be music to the people of Ireland's ears, because never on the main stage has the issues the people of Ireland face been spoke. You know, our government has long since abandoned the voices of the people of Ireland, and it's high time that America is made aware of what is going on in Ireland. What is going on in Ireland is a travesty. Our government is the government of zero action with zero accountability. You know, our money is being spent on overseas issues that has nothing to do with the Irish people. The illegal immigration racket is running ravage on the country. There are rural towns in Ireland that have been overrun in one swoop, that have become a minority in one swoop. So issues need to be addressed. And the 40 million Irish Americans, as I said, need to hear this, because if not, there will be no place to come home and visit.
I think he did okay. He was a bit nervous, but obviously it's like the first time talking in front of the American people. Of course, you're going to be very nervous, especially if you're delivering an important message. It does seem like Ireland has a lot of problems that the United States is having, and he's right. It hasn't really been publicized like that. Like, I'm a lot more aware of the problems that are going on in the UK, where they're also having some immigration problems and some other stuff going on. That is a lot more known about than what's going on in Ireland. So I do think this is a good thing that he's bringing this stuff up, for sure. I do hope that Ireland and the U.S. could have a good connection. I agree that there is like a mutual interest there for the longest time. Irish people love visiting here, and people from America love visiting Ireland. So I don't really want that to be ruined just because people are coming into the country, just like everybody else. So yeah, I think he handled that pretty well. Obviously, they were bombarding him with questions. He seemed a little standoffish when they stepped up and asked questions. He actually took some steps back. But like I said, it is an intimidating situation. No matter how many fights you've been in, politics is a whole different world. All right, now let's see this meeting with Donald Trump. Now, I can't think of many more interesting conversations between two unique characters of Conor McGregor and Donald Trump. I would love to hear the full conversation. Obviously, this is just a 13-second clip, but he's already just a bit better than Zelensky, so Trump's probably... that was actually so crazy, by the way. When Zelensky came out, the first thing he said to him was, "Oh, he's dressed up today." Instantly on Zelensky's neck. So he's probably appreciating the suit. It is a pretty tight suit, though. It is a pretty fire suit. All right, let's see what Conor and Donnie got to say. I knew he liked the suit. I cannot hear Trump because of his... But basically they were talking about he likes his suit and he finds it very inspiring the way he moves, because he definitely shares a lot of political agendas with Trump, especially with the immigration stuff. This is a problem in a lot of places, Obviously, I'm not going to give my full thoughts on it, but it needs to be somewhat regulated for things to be healthy in the country, just because you never really know who you're getting. That's why background checks are important. It's probably more so the basis. I'm sure Conor's not going to be out here trying to kick people out of his country. I don't think they have as good as resources that we do with what we're doing with ICE. But again, I don't know. Conor could get that stuff going, but I would like to know what else he has planned for the country besides what Trump wants to do with America. I know it seems like he's very inspired by Trump's speeches. I know he was at the inauguration. And if they have similar problems, I don't think it's a bad thing, but who really knows? Conor could be a psychopath when he gets power. All right, so overall thoughts about this. He seems passionate. So, I just want the best for all countries, America, the UK, Ireland. I just hope they figure all the things out. If there truly is a problem with the government in Ireland, and all of you can agree, whoever's Irish watching this video, I would like a change. And if Conor is going to be passionate enough to make things happen, I do hope he's in power for you guys. I'm not going to lie. It would be a bit scary knowing the type of person he is, but to get somebody to move the agenda and just to get things better is very important. That's why hot take, I wanted Trump in office. I know I wasn't going to speak on it, but it's deeper in the video, so some people might have fucked off at this point that would have been offended by the conversation. But just seeing change and somebody that's passionate about change is one of the main things you want to look for with a politician, in my opinion. And it seems like Conor is passionate about making Ireland better. So if that's the case, with no like power dynamic thing, that could be the case also. If he just doesn't want power and be in a powerful position to actually want change, I would want that for Ireland. Let me know if you guys agree down below. It does seem like he's done with fighting if he's taken this path, because if he's not fighting now, it's probably his last chance, his last window, because he's getting older. I don't know how many people could really beat in UFC at his age and then how inactive he's been, to be completely honest. I have said that Conor going to boxing makes more sense because he really did good against Floyd, and I just think he would be a good boxer. Obviously, wouldn't beat like Terrence Crawford. All right, so I'm gonna wrap it up now because my dumbass phone is having storage issues. I delete 4 apps and like 100 videos, and I can't record a fucking clip 20 seconds. It pisses me off so much. I gotta get a camera, so subscribe for sure, and like the video, comment, all that. I'm a small channel, so every single one of them still helps. I appreciate all of you. Thank you guys for listening to me yap like usual. God bless every single one of you. And peace out.